When I started doing photography, I believed that weddings were it. I thought I was going to make all my money shooting weddings. In fact, that's almost all I ever wanted to do because I always got the big bag. Let me tell you the truth about wedding photography. The truth about wedding photography is it can be a lot. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, man. It's one of those things that can take the most out of you. Marketing, talking to clients, trying to make sure you're staying on top of them, email blasting, following up. And then when you get there on the day of, oh, you are now the photographer, the videographer, the wedding planner sometimes. People run late. It can be a mess. It's honestly sensory overload, overwhelming. Sometimes I get anxiety thinking about some of the worst experiences I have had. With weddings, it's a huge industry. They spend tens of billions of dollars every year, and millions of people are getting married. So there's more than enough opportunity to go around when it comes to weddings. So I get it. I get why photographers make that their end all be all. This is the, in my opinion, the easiest way to sell a big ticket item. Now, for most people, they want that big fish. They want that $10,000 wedding. You want to do it time and time again. When you hear the big folks on YouTube and Instagram talking, they're only shooting 10 weddings a year and they're making six figures off a $10,000 wedding. But for most average people, myself included, you're typically getting around $2,000 to $4,000 per wedding. I tend to charge anywhere from $5,000 to $6,000 if I'm doing photo and video and I'm bringing a team, et cetera. And so that's usually the bread and butter here. It's more than you would get doing a portrait session, but is it worth your time working on your feet all day at the beck and call of someone else? That's a decision that you have to make for yourself. The reality is weddings can be very taxing because for a lot of people that you're working with, this is their first time. They've never gotten married before. They don't know what to expect. And you are the only person in the room outside of maybe some other vendors who are a repeat customer. You've seen this all before. You've done this all before. So you as the expert now have a weight on your shoulders to make sure that their day for the first time goes smoothly. That's a lot for a photographer, especially a beginning photographer. Hell, even an intermediate photographer. It's a lot to put on any one person to make sure that somebody's biggest, most special day goes right. And a lot of times they're willing to pay the money for someone who's really good at it to come in and do something great. But that also means that their expectation of you is higher. There are no missed shots. You can't miss that first kiss. You miss that first kiss, you might as well give them their money back. It's going to be a problem. So there's a lot of high risk, high reward. Now for me, over the years, it's become almost formulaic. I've done so many weddings at this point. I already know what to expect. I know where to be to get the right shot. I'm getting pretty much the same shots every time. And because of that, you become burned out. Sometimes you lose creativity. You lose sight of what the vision was and the goal and why you even showed up here. It makes it a little bit tougher. But I have found a way to rejuvenate myself in the wedding industry to keep going. And that's bringing in camaraderie to shoot these experiences, having a team around me who I know will help me be successful every time. So there is a silver lining in this playbook. Like, you have to be smart about how you approach weddings. Now, one big thing about weddings, seasonality is real. I mean, for most weddings, they're in the spring or the fall. I can't think of the last time I shot a wedding in December. And so you really have to be mindful about how you're managing your business in those downtimes when people are not getting married. Mind you, there are weddings literally happening all year long, but sometimes you're going to see a slow season in the summer when it's extremely hot. Nobody wants to be sitting outside. In the winter when it's extremely cold or rainy, people not trying to move and transition through those. You usually see most weddings concentrated in the spring or in the fall. And what I would say on those down seasons, I would say focus on your sales. So marketing never stops in the wedding industry. You need to be going out, going to industry shows, trade shows, Facebook posting. You know, at one point I was following hashtags in my area, and if somebody said that they got engaged that day, I'm sending a DM, hey, I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Jaron. I'm a wedding photographer in your area. You are a beautiful couple. Congratulations. Make sure you guys check out our work when you're thinking about your wedding photography. And sometimes I would get people who would send me a form and say, hey, you know, we want to hear more. Send us your rates. And in that case, you want to make sure that you're responding immediately. Like if they're sending that, a lot of times people are making that decision in less than 24 hours about who's responding and who's in their price range and who has the work that they're looking for. The marketing literally never stops. It's a whole nother ball game to be at the tippy top in the wedding industry because you have to always be selling. You're making sure that you are staying on top of people to get in the game when it comes to wedding industry to make sure that you are getting that dollar, because everybody wants. I mean, the reality is majority of photographers lean to this industry. So that means you're fighting against literally everybody in your city who's also a wedding photographer. So marketing never stops and never sleeps. You have to be strategic about how you're getting to the bag. Point blank, period. So with that same thing in mind, you have to also be mindful of your customer. And there are a myriad of different types of couples, but I feel like most of the times they come in about two bags. You're going to get two different archetypes of couple. You're going to get two different archetypes of couples. So the first one I would say is the budget conscious couple. They usually have a budget. There's not a whole bunch of money in the pot, but they still want to have a nice wedding and get good pictures. And so a lot of times they're going to see your prices. You may be too high and they'll walk away, or you're too high and they'll try to bring you down to see if we can get what we need from you at a lesser cost. That's totally fine, but know that sometimes these clients can be extremely demanding. Then there are those who are the Instagram level, I want the best of the best. It needs to look a certain type of way. They're going to spend what you're asking for, no problem, not going to bat an eyelash, but they're going to have expectations. And that means you need to have quality service and product, and you need to be quick and efficient. If I'm getting married on Saturday, by Monday, I need those photos in the bag so I can put them on the gram so people can see what we did. Social media is driving everything nowadays, and that has significantly Social media is driving everything nowadays, and that has significantly changed the industry. The truth of the matter is the wedding industry can be extremely rewarding. It can also be extremely lucrative, but it is not easy. People think that I'm going to pick up a camera and I'm going to show up and be a wedding photographer. The answer is no. You need experience. Weddings are tough. Once you get in there, if you've never done it before, if you've only done it a couple of times, things can throw you off. You're clicking and clicking and clicking as the days go on. I've gotten into weddings and I've shot 2,000 plus photos from one 8-hour session. Back in the day, I used to shoot weddings for 6 hours. It wasn't enough time to get everything I needed done. I needed to be there earlier. I needed to stay a little bit later. So I expanded to 8-hour weddings. You have to be mindful of your situation and be able to take control. And that's what makes it tough. Sometimes you're going to have planners who know what they're doing. They're going to set you up for success. Sometimes you won't, and it's going to be a fail. You're going to be running from behind the entire day. I once had a wedding, ran 2 hours behind. There was nothing I could do but wait. Hurry up and wait. And when their time ran out, they didn't want to pay for additional time. So that means they missed the majority of that reception. And that is very unfortunate because it was a very beautiful place. It's hard. Weddings are tough, but you have to be tougher. Not to be cliche, but the reality is, like, you really have to know what you're doing and be strategic about how you show up. Make sure you're professional, you're clean cut, you're making that day incredible for that bride, and that will keep them coming back. It is an extremely rewarding thing to work in. I have been a wedding photographer for over 15 years, and I have seen people get married, have kids that come back for their family portraits. Some of them bring their kids back for graduations and celebrations, birthday parties, all sorts of things. So when you do an excellent job working at someone's wedding, be prepared to be part of the family for the rest of their lives, because they'll never forget that memory. And it's an opportunity for you to continue to grow your business. So, as always, Jaron Collins, Greenwood, we in this thing. JCI Creators, brand responsibly. Y'all know the vibe. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.